Hey everyone, it is the Mighty Gliscor here. We are going over the GWL Season 1 Reshiram division. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Alrighty, so our
Oh,
first
that's
team
me.
here, we have a cat, the coach of the Maryland Mimikyu. This team is absolute just threat. Genesect, first overall pick. I mean, yeah,
Who wouldn't pick
take it
Genesect?
away.
Um, this team's definitely a threat. I think the combination of Sneasler, Genesect, and Tapu Fini is scary because they kind of cover each other's weaknesses. Plus, Sneasler with Unburden is an actual menace to society. The only thing I'd be like slightly concerned about is running T spikes on Greninja or Sneasler, because Misty Surge doesn't make them do their job, as well as Will-O-Wisp on Skeldurge, but
Right,
for the most part, they
Willow
can be avoided.
Skeletors. Um,
Yeah, Skeldurge, yeah.
if you run like like Dire Claw, not being able to status, is like Sneezer's like whole thing. Like the 50% chance, what is it, burn, para, toxic? And you can proc any of them
Yeah.
unless the Pokemon's flying or levitating. Like
No, it
that.
blocks all status. Superior too. Glare on that is
Yeah.
not going to go well with
Can't
Tapu
glare on.
Fini.
Yeah. So Finny kind of like if he could have got any other Tapu, I think this team would have been insane. But unfortunately, like there's a lot of clashing things on this team. Like when you have this much
Yeah.
offense, Fini does not bode well for like status spamming or toxic spikes types. I mean, but he has regular spikes. He has stealth rock. He's got trick room. A lot of different ways this team can go. So it should be interesting to see how it works.
Superior could be pretty cool. I'm interested because it kind of feels out of place with everything else. It's just a Contrarymon for the sake of having Contrary.
Yeah, it gives him his
Might be
second
the one.
defogger,
Yeah,
as well as like a sub seed. It's
I
really
think
his
he's got
only
three though,
good
right?
It's just really his only good EQ switch in besides Mence or Claydol.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Um,
And Claydol, you're not going to be taking to many matches anyways.
right. Preferably you don't bring Claydol a lot. I mean, Claydol gives rapid spin. Again,
Yeah.
not priority. Pivot with teleport. So I mean, Claydol maybe come, and Claydol could also like Claydol plus Stack Attacka for Trick Room.
Oh, yeah, that could be nice.
So
I'm looking at the weather thing right now. I'm seeing... Nah, never mind.
for weather.
I thought I was going to get Misty Explosion or whatever it's called, but it doesn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
overall an interesting team. I mean, it's definitely one of the strongest teams in my opinion in this league.
I think that Genesect pick is just like a little bit too good.
Yeah.
First pick overall is like a severe advantage.
Yeah,
But you know, we'll see. Maybe it just gets countered by HP Fire.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely giving this a solid 9 out of 10. Hands down, just one of the best teams, if not the best team. So next up, we have the Dolly City Diglets, coached by Robbie Air. He drafted Gen 9 OU plus Megalopony. Yeah. Very interesting team. A lot of glaring weaknesses, as you can see. Fairy, Flying, Psychic, because there's 3 fighting types. Megalop and Dragapult can really break down a team in the end game after being stalled by Slowking, Garg, Screamtail, Breloom, Bozo. Even Great Tusk is a really good just wear you down type mon, and then you have 2 really fast offensive threats that are able to sweep in the end game. Or you can just straight up bring, 6 Stallmons. It's an interesting team. I mean, I've never seen anything like this drafted. I literally have never.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'm looking at this guy's team now, and it gets like if you had anything like a flying type and a fairy type, he's just dead. Like, there's not much he can do about it. It kind of confuses me because his 2 big threats are like U-turners and like momentum keepers, and then the rest of his team is like stall and
It's just
stall
stall.
and floating, which can switch into the big sweepers, but usually you're not gonna set up with Dragapult or Lopunny. Not Dragapult, maybe. It's yeah, I'm confused by it. Ditto is a great pick. I think in draft with Scarf, it can be a pretty centralizing mon. Make your opponent pick around you.
Not
But
even like just Scarf though. Like there's still so many other things that they can do with it.
yeah,
Like run a berry to counter like let's say a mon's weak to EQ, but you know the mon you're switching into also carries EQ. You can run a Choco Berry and then you're able to switch up moves against the rest of his team and but it does make a lot of the opponent's team setup try like they either try not to build setup or they build setup that involves sub or anything along those lines.
yeah.
That'll block Ditto. So interesting, especially when they already have Dondozo who's unaware, so like teams aren't really gonna try to set up on this team anyway. Um, yeah,
I'm being honest. I'm really excited to see how this one goes because I'm not really seeing a way it'll go well, and I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised. But honestly, I'm not sure at this point. I don't know what to make of this team.
yeah, it's just it's like I feel bad saying it's a 6 because that's what I feel like it is.
I don't think it can be. A 6 is a little too high.
You
I
think?
mean, he's got Great Tusk, he's got Screamtail.
I feel
He's
bad
got
giving
utility
anybody less
stat.
than a 5 in a 12-man pool though. I mean like
Yeah. I
team
think you gotta rate like comparatively though.
yeah. I mean maybe I'll go down as we see how insane the other teams are because there are some insane teams drafted.
We'll see. We'll
Um,
see.
but yeah, I mean
Not
this
looking
one,
great.
this one, whew. It's gonna be interesting to see how it works. Because yeah, I mean it's Gen 9 OU, like what?
And I know you. Pray home too. Not even like
Oh yeah, pre-home. Gotta put that in there.
real interesting stuff. I'm intrigued, but also
sure.
kind of scared.
For sure. Next up,
Alright,
we
so
have the Akron Arcanines for Mist. Mist is the coach. Palafin, Zamazenta, Megaladios. I mean, just gotta give it up. I mean, Palafin's that mon, Zamazenta's that mon, Megaladios is also that mon. I mean, those are three just really strong mons behind Grimmsnarl screens, with sticky webs, with T-spikes, with regular spikes. Definitely dedicated a lot of the lower points to hazards, and then the high tier mons for, just pure hyper offense.
yeah. I mean, some of these stuff, like as soon as you get them behind screens, they're like almost unkillable. If you get like Subs on Magenta, like even bulk up taunt Palafin Hero,
Yeah.
that's actually insane. I haven't seen Megalodios used much because we usually ban it, but I'm gonna look up the moveset right now actually.
It's
Hmm.
the good thing about it is that it has good mixed offenses. So like
Oh yeah,
130
I
base
see.
attack and 160 special attack, so you can run like EQ Ice Beam and then Roost Defog, something like that.
Yep,
I say
it's Dragon Dance, Draco
the
Meteor.
one of my favorite sets that I've been running in the DAPL was Future Sight, Roar, Roost, and I forget the last move.
Interesting,
Probably
that's fine.
Taunt, probably something like that. Just a way to like, just be really annoying to everything. Cause and Mega Latios is like, or Latios is super. It's got really good bulk as well. 80, 100, 120. So
110 speed. I mean, it's not stellar, but for a Mega, that's yeah, it could be higher, but like 110 speed, you're still outspeeding most of the stuff at base 100.
yeah.
That's Iron Moth speed tier, I think. But I mean, not something to mess around with.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Scissor's still a good mon. I mean, he's got priority out the ass, like with Palafin and Scizor, so that's kind of
Yeah,
funny. Um,
not many knockoff. users. It's just Scizor and I think Donphan gets it.
Yeah, yep.
Not sure.
The average Tusk gets it, yes.
Kind of sad there's not more like U-turners.
Yeah,
And you're not really gonna run it on Volcarona, mostly just Scizor.
right, it's really only Scizor. I mean, Palafin gets flip turn.
I can add a shot.
And Megalotti gets Baton Pass. But pretty sure other than that, yeah, I mean that's the momentum on this team. I mean
I
it,
think
it, it looks very just set up and go, like get the screens up, get potential webs up, then click bulk up with Zama, click Swords Dance with Scizor, click bulk up with Palafin, click QD with Volcarona, Calm Mind Lottie. Even could go double
yeah.
dance Lottie, Calm Mind, Agility, Stored Power.
Yeah, this thing's. I mean, the last few months do. I think you said it before, but they do kind of feel tacked on. Like Donphan's just there for spinning.
And
He doesn't
rocks.
have very many Z move abusers.
Yeah, that is a good point. Z moves are only Mons 12 points and below, so I think the only Mons 12 points and below on the team are what? Roserade, Donphan, Dust Noir,
Oh,
Ariados.
Grimmsnarl. Yeah, I completely forgot about Grimmsnarl. That's on me. No, he's a
Oh
pretty
right,
good
and
Z move
Grimmsnarl's the
abuser.
one. So yeah, I mean Z parting shot on Grimmsnarl is going to be
Actually,
probably the
detrimental.
biggest. I probably actually shouldn't even say that strat in this video because they might.
Don't give him ideas. Yeah, Z parting shot's too powerful. Like,
But that is an
give this
insane.
thing Z parting shot, and like
Yeah.
you take him on. Like, so you send in whatever it is, Palfin, and it takes hit and swishes out. You go set up screens and Z parting shot, and suddenly your Palfin is in hero form and back to full, and basically unkillable. So good luck fighting that one.
Yeah, and we thought Revival Blessing was OP.
Yeah.
C
It's
parting
like,
shot's been in since Gen 7.
Grimmsnarl's like Healing Wish, but without the dying part.
Without the
It's
dying
great.
part. Yeah, you thought you
Yeah,
killed Zamazenta, and it's back.
Yup. I think this team, I mean, pretty solid. It's definitely not built. I think the most, it's kind of cohesive. It's just kind of screens and then set up.
Yeah, it's
I feel like
just
there could have been
HO.
some more nuance behind it, but no. If this thing sweeps me, I'm not gonna say I told you so.
Yeah, I just feel like this team defensive, like if this team gets counter HO'd, it might be a little struggle. But I mean that's probably the only way to really beat this team is to counter HO it because, your walls are getting broken by one of these mons, whether it be Palafin, whether it be Volk, whether it be Zamazenta.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. There's not many things that could out HO this. Maybe the E-Terrain team, or like whatever it is, the Tornadoes Tarian and Zamazenta Crown.
Yeah, that build. I mean Trick Room might be able to out HO the team.
Yeah.
Because this
That's gonna
team,
be
I mean
tough, though.
Ursaluna. I mean, find me a switch in on this team.
Nope. Facade and everything just dies, except for Dusknoir. But who's gonna bring Dusknoir?
Maybe that's the hidden tech.
The hidden tech. You Trick Room again so that they get it. You remove it from them.
Remove Trick Room with Trick
Oh wait,
Room,
in
and
prison Trick Room could actually be kind of funny.
that's heat as
I doubt
well.
it actually happened though.
But yeah,
Alright, you want to give this one a rating?
I'd easily give this one probably an 8. When
I think 8 sounds good.
yeah, a cat being a 9, this team is definitely right below it, and an 8. Yeah, no way to slice it there. It's just a really good mon, really good team. So we have the New York Nimbles next, coached by Rachel. This team is a bulky offense build, kind of with Chien-Pao and Walking Wake being like the 2 stars of the offense, as well. I mean, Dragonite's there too, and then kind of like the defensive core of Pax, Bulu, Tinkaton. Yeah, how do you feel about this team?
I think bulky offense definitely is a good way to describe it. I was kind of on the fence at first, but the more I looked at it, like most of the time you're just gonna be running extreme speed Dragonite, and then maybe like a defog roost set every once in a while. That's kind of
Yeah.
the issue with Dragonite though, because it wants to run an offense set, but it's also the only removal. So
Right. And
there's kind
yeah,
of conflicting ideals there. I guess if you kill them fast enough, they don't get the chance to set up. But
this
unless
team's
you're leading with low kicks or something,
right.
then I don't know.
Yeah, this team doesn't really have a way to kill fast. You know what I mean? Like if uh
Yeah.
you lead
Mm.
Garchomp, Stealth Rock, Focus Sash, and then you can maybe even get up a Spike and get 2 sets of hazards where they have to go Boots Dragonite every week. Boots Dragonite to defog, like you know. You'd rather,
Yeah.
if you're gonna have Boots Dragonite be the one to fall into that thing, I'd rather it be like Boots Noivern or something that's not as good as Dragonite being dedicated to that. Or even something like
Yeah.
Boots Crobat if you wanna, do
Oh,
that.
Boots Crobat, that could be cool.
Like,
Yeah. I
give me like
think
a
you need a
fast mon.
dedicated. You need a dedicated like defogger or rapid spinner here. I don't think just having Dragonite's enough.
Yeah, and
Wait,
especially
which
when
team are we on?
we are talking about
Rachel's?
Rachel, the New York Nimbles.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. Let's go.
Okay. Tinkaton as being the only Stealth Rocker on this team also is really shaky to me. Because it A is the only Stealth Rocker and B one of 2 knockoffers. So it's kind of being forced into a role of like Tyranitar where it's just kind of like rocks, knockoff, and utility rather than being like a wall breaker or some sort of set like that. Spamming Gigaton Hammer.
He drafted Chien Pao and 1 defogger, 0 spinners.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Dragonite's their only whatever it is, only removal. I think Clink Clank could have been better spent on something that, contributes to the team or like removes hazards.
I feel
Well,
like for how many
yeah.
steals we drafted, having a weakness to fairy. No, I
Yeah.
guess you only drafted 2 steals, and one of which is Klinklang.
Right.
I think we're kind of over obsessing over the fairy weakness thing, because Toxapex just kills all of them anyways.
Toxapex is a
But
crazy fairy wall. Chandelier is a really good fairy wall too, as well as Tinkaton.
That's a very good point, but both of those mons, if they were to come up against the Lele team, for example,
not the Lele team.
would just get blown up. Are we going right to left, or are we going left to right? from the
Left to
bottom?
We're
right.
going- Yeah.
Um,
that
Oh
was-
damn, we're on team 3. Okay, what have we given Robier, ACAT, and Mist so far?
So ACAT was a 9. Robier generously gave a 6.
5.
Oh,
It's
Alright.
probably a
We'll
5.
save that one for later.
And
holy, that's a bad team.
Yeah, it's literally Gen 9 OU, but just
Yeah.
Megalopunny.
it's Gen 9 OU plus Lopunny. It's hilarious, but I love it. I genuinely love it. I really wanted to do well.
ACAT's got a really cool team. This is a really interesting team. Very fucking fast. Holy shit.
And
That's
then
a fast team.
the Palafin hyper offense build with Grimmsnarl we gave an 8.
Palafin, HO. Oh, yeah, this really is HO. Okay. It's just screens offense with a Donphan.
Yeah. The low tier mons are dedicated to hazards as well as the top tier mons are just dedicated to offense.
Okay, so I feel like we can't give Rachel higher than a, 7. Despite having Chien Pao, D-Knight, Toxapex.
Yeah.
I think 7, if we say 7, 7.5, I think that's a perfect way to put it. I really like the team in terms of bulk, but there's definitely some holes that need to be filled as far as hazards and utility.
Bulky of a team though, because even with Wobbuffet base 190 HP dragging it up, it's base 84 average HP, 93 defense, and 91 SPDF. That's not even that bulky.
That's fair.
Ooh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's a good point. I mean,
It's just a bunch of mons that don't work together.
Ouch. No, I mean, you're kind of right though.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
see
I
that.
wouldn't say that if I was just being mean, but Like we have a Wob, but nothing to really trap because like Walls, Chin, Pow, and Wake are like what strong fairies, right?
Strong Fairies, well, Chien, as well as Strong Steels. I mean, you get Sacred Sword, but I mean,
So then you need Wob to trap them, but then your team has an inherent large fairy weakness with the only switch in being Toxapex and Inkaton, which isn't really a switch in.
yeah, and both of them are weak to Earthquake, so I mean, it's just such an obvious double, almost 9 times out of 10 to just double into a ground type.
I'd even go like, could probably go. I don't know. I'm looking at the tier 4s and 5s right now.
Hold on, I'm gonna listen one second.
Spinners or like hazard removals could be like Rotom. I would say Tatsugiri, but then you're just more fairy weak. There's really no good like
I mean, you could drop Dragonite. That frees a lot of points.
Golbat could be good too.
Yeah, Golbat would be good. Like, if you drop Dragonite and just got, like, a Defogger that wasn't Dragonite, and then spend the Dragonite points elsewhere to improve the other aspects. Because then you could improve Wob to a real Mon, you could improve Klinklang to a real Mon, and then, you know, maybe you'd have 2 Stealth Rock Setters and a Spike Stacker, or 2 Defoggers and a Rapid Spinner, something along those lines that'll help the hazard game. Or maybe even, like, some sort of utility. Yeah.
I think Armory over Dragonite could be a good change because then you
Yeah.
get that fairy counter.
That's a really good fairy resist, yeah.
Mhm.
It does
Plus you're
make you kind of weak to fire, as the team already is, but
Yeah. I mean, if you're dropping Klinklang, which hopefully you are,
yeah.
you've got Flash Fire, my bad. What's it called?
Shandy.
Chandelier. Yep. And then you've got Toxapex and Walking Wake, which are both all good fire switch-ins.
So next up we have myself, the coach of the New York Gliscors, the Mighty Gliscor. Yeah, easy 10 out of 10, but let's hear what the others have to think.
All right. I knew you'd just be helping yourself up. Honestly, this kind of looks like every doubles team I've ever seen. We got Rotom Wash, Armarouge, Hydreigon. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You got the Psychic Surge with Armarouge and Lele.
I really like that combination.
Yeah, and no priority abusers either, which is a good thing in this context. But if you get something like Quaquaval under Psychic Terrain with Moxie, once that thing gets a speed boost, it's like game over. You've got removal, which is good. You've got 3 defoggers and a spinner, which is good.
You've got 5 pivot mons, which is very
5
strong.
pivots. I'm really excited about that one.
I love Pivot.
A few stealth
What can
rockers,
Z
too.
on this team? It's Earthworm, Muck, Sceptile, Armarouge?
Armarouge? Yeah.
And Zoroark.
And Zoroark.
And Zoroark. Okay, so 5 very good Z move users.
Does Zoroark get any, like, cool status things to abuse?
With Z move?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can Z move. It's 10 or 11.
I don't know.
No,
I know
no,
it's
I meant,
Celebrate,
like,
but we banned Omniboost.
Oh, yeah.
It gets Z
Good
Curse
thing,
for a
too.
full heal, but like it's not taking damage.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, Curse is, the Ghost type Curse, right?
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
you heal to full and then you lose half your
Yeah,
HP.
you essentially salt cure them.
Yeah. I don't think it gets anything other than crazy than that. I mean, it gets a ton of coverage like Z Grass Knot, Z Flamethrower, Z Hyper Voice, Z.
Yeah, I know I wanted this mon, but I got sniped. I can't really see a like outstanding weakness in this team.
Yeah,
if I'm
if
being
you load it
honest.
up on Ballhawks, there's like no weaknesses in the type chart.
Yeah, I know.
I
that's
think
what I'm
the
looking at now.
scariest thing for me looking at it is I feel like bulky fairies might be an issue for me, or just fairy types in general, because I mean Muck is kind of an answer to them, but like
I think the problem you're gonna run into very quickly is killing dragons. Like Calm Mind, faster dragons seem like they could be a very large problem.
Yeah.
Sub dragons specifically.
I always lose the sub dragons. I mean, you can check my channel out for that.
Quaquaval with Ice Spinner could potentially deal with him, but I don't know if he's bulky enough.
Oh, it's bulky enough.
85, 80, 75. I mean, that's fine.
That's
Probably above
okay.
ahead.
That's on the frailer side.
It gets
Yeah,
bulk
if
up,
you
so I
up
mean,
turn 1 and then ice spinner, and you break the sub, then you should be fine. But I get what you mean with the dragon type thingy.
yeah, I
You
could
get
definitely see
pursued
that.
on Muck. You have multiple knockoff users. I really like this team. It's a good team.
One thing, a very, very minor detail, but I'm a big fan of Moldbreaker Excadrill, and he looks pretty good into this team. So if I was an Excadrill user, I'd be so happy.
I'm just
If
gonna
we're
put an
talking about
ability.
mons that are crazy into this team,
I'm just gonna put an ability shield on Rotom, and
Oh,
GG.
screw you. I hope you didn't. That was
hey
the one
man,
game I played with, whatever it was, Excadrill. I broke his core because he forgot ability shield was a thing, and if he put it on Bronzong, then he would have just won. But he
bro,
didn't. So,
mon that goes absolutely crazy into this team. If you're looking at mons that break holes, Kyurem, just normal
you're,
Kyurem, has perfect coverage into the whole team.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Except
That's
for
fair.
Earthworm. No. Yeah, no,
Earthworm.
Earthworm.
Yeah, Earthworm
But
will.
Earthworm's not gonna switch into multiple freeze dries.
I mean, he could if you build him for it.
Maybe we'd
Its
have to see
SPDF
how
is
it
really.
goes, but
Its
Oh yeah,
SPDF's
no,
really
I'm
low.
looking at it now. His PDF is awful.
But I mean, the thing is, Earthworm and Zoroark really help my type charges look good, because Earthworm is only weak to fire and fighting, as well as has two immunities, right?
two immunities,
Poison
yeah, and
and
Zoroark
ground.
has 3
Zoroark is
immunities.
3. I have a lot of immunities on the team, which really bails out my type
Zoroark only
chart.
has 1 weakness. It has
Yeah.
3 immunities, 2 resistances, and 1 weakness. That's a really good type combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of glad to see that type combo, because it's been one that I'm sure a lot of fans have been wanting for a long time, because of the fact that it only has 1 weakness in Dark.
You can lead Zoro with, like, probably Muck in the back or Earthworm in the back. Try and get them to
Orlando
hit a
even.
Orlando, yeah. Try and get them to hit like a weird move that would cover that mon, but it's immune to.
Yeah, I mean, fighting, they think they can close combat Hydreigon. Yeah.
4 plus 100 mons. I'm gonna count Hydreigon as plus 100 because it's 98. Really
Yeah.
solid speed tiers.
I expected you to just talk up this team a lot and it not be great. But honestly, it's looking pretty good.
It's
Yeah,
a really good team.
I really did enjoy building this team. I mean, I did get sniped on Sneasler. Definitely would have been better on my team than on with a team with Feeny, but it is what it is. If somebody wants to trade, they can definitely hit me up. Yeah.
I'm definitely down to give this team a 9 out of 10. This is a
Yeah.
really good team.
9 out of 10. Maybe even better than a Cats team. Yeah, I'd say better than a Cats team.
So we have the Melbourne Reshirams, and Edster is the coach. Really good offensive mons to start out, Urshifu, Single, and Spectre. And then it kind of goes off into Slowking, Galar, Mega Scizor, Inteleon, Heliolisk, Rillaboom, Aromatisse, Mamoswine, Torcat. The average stats are like really bad for this team. That's like the first thing that catches my eye, as well as I know PBS mentioned the only rocker being Mamoswine and the only hazard removal being Mega Scizor. I mean, like, sure, they're probably gonna always be on the team, but I don't know.
Mega
I just
Scizor
feel
is
like
not
the
gonna want to
team.
run like defog usually.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could. You could go knock off U-turn, defog, whatever else, bullet
It's
punch,
gotta
I
be
guess.
Roost.
But this, I don't know. Inteleon, I think, could have been used better. Same with Heliolisk. Like this team
Trope
kind of.
Torcat and Aromatisse.
The triple starter core is I don't know if it's intentional, but it's kind of funny. But yeah, Inteleon's definitely better off somewhere else.
I think Aromatisse is just wish support. Like, there's no other thing. The kind of utility of this team falls off as soon as you get past the first 4 mons. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's a 12-man pool and we've got 120 points. So, who am I to judge?
Yeah. Well, no, but 12-man pool, 120 points, and this is what we ended up with. Like Urshifu single and Spectre on the same team is crazy. Don't get me wrong. But then that's like kind of where the team ends. This team has no
Yeah.
defensive presence whatsoever.
No, it's just basically U-turn pivoting until you kill someone.
And he's gonna have to bring the same 6 mons every week. Urshifu single, Spectre, Galar, Sizz, Rillaboom, Mamo.
Yeah,
Those are the
that
only
you,
real mons on the team.
that's all you can do, unfortunately, because you have to bring Mammo if you want to pressure with rocks. You have to bring Mega Scizor if your opponent spams hazards, and then you have to
And they're
bring
gonna spam
Rillaboom.
hazards versus you because you can't even hold you can't even hold boots on Scizor. So Scizor's gonna get beaten down by rocks and spikes.
For
Yeah,
sure.
just really bad matchup into the Goldingo team. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but kind of like Scizor's not gonna be able to do much except hit knockoff on Goldingo,
Mhm.
and it's the only defogger. So if you get, I don't know what Goldingo gets, probably Shadow Ball. You can probably 2-hit KO Scizor, and from there it's just all downhill because no more hazards. And then we've seen a lot of sticky web users too. So anyone who fought a sticky web user, just like this team's not gonna handle that well.
Yeah, no, this team's not handling anything well.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just one of those teams where it's like, it starts off really strong, but I think after Mega Scizor, it definitely falls off.
He's a little
And
bit,
Rillaboom's not even the same offensive monster it is because of the nerf to Grassy Glide.
yeah, he's a little bit too frail, I think,
Yeah,
and he's
a
got
little
too
bit is an understatement.
physical.
I mean, he's got what 6 U-turners and a Volt Switcher, or I guess the Volt
Yeah,
Switcher also can U-turn.
and a
Helios gets
partridge and a
both.
partridge,
So
but like
I mean, 6 pivot mons and then 2 insane offensive threats, but I mean, it's got no defensive backbone. Like we'll see down the line, Nick's team with electric terrain. Uh, he's got insane electric terrain threats and then has a defensive backbone in Alomomola and Gudra, while this team has offensive threats in Urshifu and Spectre and then no defensive backbone.
Yeah, this team. The only defensive backbone that I can like kind of see he's got going for him is combining Rillaboom, Mega Scizor, and Galar.
Yeah, that's it. And even then,
But then you're using Rillaboom as a defensive mon.
and you're using Mega Scizor as a defensive mon. Like, I'd rather run it as like a Swords Dance Bullet Punch Sweeper or Swords Dance Bug Bite, Swords Dance. You know,
I guess this
let
is
it be
meant to be
offensive for a
like
second.
HO, but like he forgot to draft the HO support.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, you need web,
I
you
think
need webs, you need screens, you need stealth rocks, you need
that's
spikes.
about the best way I think you can describe this team. What's it? Hyper offense without any of the support.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw
like if
kind of
if there was a DOS on this team, okay, this team's crazy, like for sure.
yeah.
This seems
Yeah,
weird.
it just it kind of sucks because the first 4 picks were really good. I guess that's just like I say it sucks as in like it sucks to see the team kind of fall off after the first. Like I don't mean it sucks as in like the team sucks. I mean like sure there's some team like there's still some work that needs to be done. I mean transactions can be made throughout the season, of course, that can fix it up. But just I guess it's sad to see, I should say, that the first 4 mons were so good and then the rest of the team didn't really build around the big 4. I mean Mamoswine's always going to be good, and but the triple starter core has gotta go for some actual mons that can support this team.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Hooking Galler's like the only switch in defensively. And even then, it's not a great defensive typing.
Yeah.
I don't know. This team's not looking too good. Aromatisse isn't like something you can easily bring anyways. This is like the second or third terrain team we've seen that actively sabotages itself. With the EQ from Mamo doing half with grassy terrain. I think the other one was Misty Terrain not letting Lair happen for Superior or whatever it was.
Yeah, well, Glare for
And
Superior,
Dire Claw.
Dire Claw for Sneasler, and T-Spikes on Grin.
Yeah, and Will-O-Wisp too. Like,
Right.
I think it's a really easy thing to do for really easy to not sabotage yourself with E-Terrain, because you just don't pack any rest mons and you're fine.
But like, I even called them out on the Mamo thing. I was like, why draft Mamo if you have Surge? And they were like, it gets Stomping Tantrum. And I was like, okay. That's just not even something you argue. I didn't even see the rest of the team. But yeah, we gotta give this team like a 5. This team's not great.
I
Got 2 good
say
mons and that's it.
Yeah, it's better than Robier's. No, maybe.
I don't think it is, honestly.
Let me see the
Yeah,
Roger
actually,
team
that's a
again.
fair point.
No, this
Robier
team's
is
trash.
the Gen 9 OU team, and I honestly think that is better
That
than
is much better
this.
than this. Yeah.
Next up, we have Nala and the Boston Dream Eaters. The first 4 Mons were absolutely hilarious to see get drafted in quick succession, because I myself am a fan of bird types. Bird types are best type. Yeah, take it away. You guys, let me know what you guys think.
All right. I booted up the Ballhawk stock, and immediately I just saw every single person is resistant to bug except for like 3. Not sure how to feel about that, but
I mean,
we'll get there.
you're never getting swept by Megasis or U-turn, bro.
Yeah, as a triple bug user myself, a bug enthusiast, if you will. This is kind of scary. I'm
I really
really
like the hazard control. Five hazard
yeah,
control mods.
I say the biggest
4
thing
defog.
when you load this team into Ballhawks is the right side panel. I mean, that thing literally just there's so much going
That
on there.
versus in everything. I'm surprised Tinglu made it to whatever it was, 7th round, even in a 12-man draft.
Yeah,
Seriously?
Ting Lo is a monster. I mean, that thing's so hard to kill.
And set for life.
Like-
Caracosta, I think, is a pretty funny guy. Shell Smash Sturdy.
But to say
Um,
Caracosta might just kill your whole team.
Don't let that happen.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
Actually,
mean,
it's
it's one that
horrible.
easily can.
As much as this draft seems weird, I actually really like a lot of the picks here. Rabombi's a great mon. Caracosta's great. Corgalar is great. Ori, Zapdos, Zard, Sama, Quarantine.
I think most of the time you're going to be bringing Fortress or Heavy Duty Boots Zapdos, just because of how weak you are to Stealth Rocks.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, I could see him running Torn T Zapdos, both of which have defog.
Yeah, both of
I
which
think
did
it-
defog are both boots.
Yeah,
And you're going to want to Mega Evolve that Charizard ASAP.
Right,
Yeah.
to get it off the flying
I
type.
like the choice of picking the ground weak Zamazenta along with Bird Spam, just so if you ever like for a second think you're in danger, you just switch to Bird and they can't hit you.
One of your 6 birds.
You're 6 birds. Yep.
I say Torn T plus Zama is insane, though. I mean, like, the fact that you can even get those 2 on the same team.
I
Yep.
think so. My issue that I have here when looking at this team is like it's actually very water weak. There's actually only 2 water resists on the entire team, so like any strong offensive water will just blow this team apart.
Yeah, not to mention Scald just looks like fun to spam against this team.
Yeah.
Fairy is a little bit of a problem, although Zama's neutral to it, but honestly, if it uses Behemoth Bath, your Behemoth... I'm not even gonna try. The Metal move. If it uses Metal move, you just die. Don't try Fairy type. What else?
I say,
Those-
yeah,
Fairy and water weak,
it's-
fire weak as well.
it's so funny how Bug and Steel resistant the team is. I mean, like, Scissor and this Genesect isn't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Bro, Genesec's clicking flame fire flat.
Oh, yeah.
Comes in.
Or like Douse Drive.
The Douse
Or-
Drive Fire,
does
yeah.
Does it get a fairy drive? Probably not, since
No.
it wasn't
No,
locked down.
it's Fire,
Fire,
Water,
Water,
Electric.
Lightning,
Oh, that's it? Oh, okay.
and Ice.
You could even
Oh,
go
yeah.
electric drive on this team.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Tinglu's the only thing, and you get Ice Beam probably. Let me check in a sec.
I mean, already,
And you
like you
can
said, the
U-turn
team
out.
doesn't have a water
doesn't have a good water switch, so I mean Douse Drive exists too.
So as cool as
Yeah.
this team looks, and it's a very fast team, 6 base 100 pluses.
Yep.
There's only like 4. There's like 7 real mons, and it's Torrenti, Zama, Zard, Zapdos, Fori, Tinglu, and then like you maybe bring Caracosta or Obambi.
Hey, don't hate
Yeah.
on the Tauros.
I think
Intimidate,
Taurus would be a good bring. Based 100 speed too.
base 100 speed,
Um,
base 105 defense. I mean, it's got Intimidate too. I mean,
I mean, okay, that's
it's not gonna have a fun time against Trick Room when it faces that one. Or no, it's fine with webs.
it does
I
have
think
webs of
Stealth
its
Rock
own.
can,
yeah, webs of its own over Rabambi. I mean, Rabambi is such a good pick.
Obambi's an amazing mon, really
I don't
good.
know. I can't. It's pretty good, but it's kind of 8 points for like webs and not much else. You get defog, I guess, if you want to remove your own webs.
You get really
Toxic.
offensive powered Moonblast.
Yeah,
Rabambi does a
Oh,
lot of
Moonblast, yeah.
damage.
Yeah, and Shield Dust with Focus Sash means like you're never going to. It's like a Covert Cloak and Sturdy. Like you're just never gonna die turn 1.
Yep. That's actually not bad. Never mind. Can see why it's 8 points over just running Smeargle.
Yeah.
Or like Leave Annie, which
Or
in
Spite
theory
Ops.
does the same thing.
Do you guys want to rate bird spam?
Bird Spam.
What are you thinking? Go ahead.
I'd say 7. I mean,
I
7's
was
probably
thinking
fair.
7. Yeah.
Maybe like 8. I think it's better than whatever the other 7 was we had.
Oh, 100%.
Better than Rachel's team?
Yeah, I think
Actually,
so.
no. Wait, hold on. Let me go back. Nah, Rachel's team is better than this.
Really?
Yeah.
Bird. I
They're
mean,
close. I mean, I like birds. I mean, birds alone
Yeah.
makes me want to put a 10, but
The problem is, like, you can't even break through defensive waters. Like, if there's a
Mm.
Toxapex on the other team, you're just not killing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing with Nala's team is you kind of got all these hazards and then nothing to like. Corso Galler, I guess, but you're not bringing that often. Not much. Like if they get a defogger, you can't do much except for I guess setup during that turn.
yeah.
But there's not even that many
Block
setup
layer
ones.
ones,
Yeah, I guess, no, that's not true. There's
DD
Nasty Plot
there's-
Torrenti
And DD Zard.
and Howl/Iron Defense Zama.
Yeah. A lot of defense on this team, not as much special defense.
They also brought Arboliva, which has Seed Sower to bring out terrain, but that's kind of weird when you brought Bird Spam.
Yes.
Yeah, not
Make
when.
sure the ground types do no damage. They do negative damage. They start restoring your health if you shit.
You're actually just helping out the other team.
Yeah, because then your EQs and you suck, and you can't, break steals, suck against steals.
I guess maybe for Zard, if you want to be technical, like if you mega and then regret your decision.
Yeah, but then you can't Earthquake anymore.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I don't know. It's a
And
mixed
Ting
bag
Lu's
on this one.
Earthquakes aren't as great, so now you're using Stamping, or you're not even running
Whirlwind.
Earthquake, you're just running like Ruination, Whirlwind, 2 hazards.
Probably
I can figure the optimal moveset.
Spike's Rest, Ruination Toxic, or Ruination Whirlwind.
Yeah, something like that.
Alright, you
Um,
guys want to wrap this one up?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
we can give
That's
this like
sticking it to
a
death.
7 pretty consistently.
Next up, we have Sencorpion and the Sturdy Stoutlands bringing us a Fire Trick Room team. Trick Room with Melmetal, Ursaluna, Torkoal, Mega Mawile, and Mimikyu as the main sweepers. I mean, I guess Mimikyu is not really a sweeper because it can also set Trick Room. But yeah, I mean, was it 6 mons on the team can set Trick Room? So
Six
there's
Trick
a
Room
lot of
mons.
variation that can be brought. The team is very Ghost Weak, is my big thing when I look at it, and very Fire Weak because it's, double steal.
Yeah.
Double Steel, he brought a Torkoal so you can reverse sweep him with any Fire Sweeper.
Yeah,
Any
I mean, you don't have to
Equalizer?
run Drought, so
That's true.
as soon as you hit like kind of his only fire switch-ins are Torkoal and Slowbro, and those guys No, actually they're pretty good. One takes physical, one takes special.
Yeah, and Slowbro can then click Trick Room and teleport out or Chili out.
Oh, I was thinking of Slowking. Never mind. Slowbro's special defense is only 80, and Torkoal's is only 70.
I was about to
Just
say, I don't think
pretty
they're going to be
good for, like,
taking much like special moves.
Yeah, there's
in,
not a good Spadef wall on this team really, besides the
Cresselia?
Toed Scroll.
Yeah,
Mycelium, kinda.
Toed's crew.
Oh no, Tetsuku, my bad. Same thing. And no, Cresselia is
Cresselia
in
is
this.
the
What are
other
we
one.
talking about?
Yeah.
Cresselia is like the wall.
Oh,
If you like
Cresselia!
Porygon
Wow,
Flip,
wow. Yeah, Cresselia's sitting right there. I'm like, yeah.
120
I really
HP,
like this team
that's
because like
insane.
he doesn't have many hazards, but rather than go for like a bunch of defoggers like most people do, he went for double rapid spin and bounce. I really like that. That's innovative.
Melmetal's gonna be an absolute like hazard to everybody under
Under Trick
Brick
Room.
Room, because you get that
Mhm.
double Iron Bash,
I mean,
Flash Champ.
If you played
Yeah.
Nat Dex post home, or not Nat Dex, Gen 9 post home on the OU ladder right now, it is everybody spamming that Ursaluna team that Pokeam used. So
Oh my
lit-
god, I just
the,
saw that video.
the whole ladder is just everybody with Ursaluna Trick Room. I mean, like, it has become the most obnoxious thing in the world, and especially with
I
Terra.
mean, Ursaluna is just look at those stats, dude. 130, 105, 80 defenses off 140 attack boosted by guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the only other team I'm seeing right now in OU ladder is rain teams with Overquill, and whatever else. What else?
I keep
Racer?
seeing Hisui and Samurott a lot. Like I've
Yeah.
seen
That
that and
one, yeah.
McGearn on every team.
People just like Spikes. Spike's funny.
Spike's good.
And speaking of spikes, Toad Squirrel on this team is the main spike stacker. With Mycelium Might is such a weird move, like a weird ability. I mean, like
Mhm.
What does it do?
it makes status always land, like and always affect, even if they have like magic bounce or
Goes
know,
gold.
things like that. But it goes last. It makes the move go last. So, you know,
Interesting.
if you're fighting, Bax Caliber and you normally outspeed it, Icicle Spear. If you try to spore it, Icicle Spear is gonna just kill you.
Honestly, I'm really glad that
So it's
game
kind of like weird,
like
especially when Toad Scroll's the fastest mon on the team, but is always going last in the priority bracket. It's just kind of
Yep.
like
Yeah,
it's
this
kind of
is
bizarre,
this is
especially when under Trick Room. Does Trick Room make it where the because Trick Room makes
No,
it where the lowest
priority-
speed
Trick Room
mons
doesn't
moves
affect
first.
priority. It does not affect priority. It just affects speed.
I'm just glad there isn't a base 100 speed spore user, because I just stopped playing Pokemon. I don't think I'd be able to handle it.
I thought Two-Head Screw does get.
Speed.
Oh, I see.
Mimikry,
This is
not
a
bad.
really interesting team because it's just a bulky ass team. Like he just picked a bunch of bulky mons and then a bunch of slow mons.
Yep.
And
I could see screens being used with this one.
but I
Um,
mean, again, he doesn't have a good water switch in. I mean, I guess he kind of does with Pori and Cress, just
Mm.
really good defensive mons.
Slowbro is kind of the only one. And then I guess if you're running Discharge Pori. The good thing about Pori is you've got like a bunch of physical walls in Melmetal and Mawile. And then you've got some special walls with Toedscruel and Cresselia. But Porygon kind of is both with Eviolite.
Yeah,
I love using him. Because he has
Pori's a really
teleport
really
recovery.
strong mon. Yeah, teleport, recover, trick room +1, maybe ice beam.
Yeah. Honestly, not the it's pretty good for a trick room team. That
Yeah,
said,
no.
like misogynistic almost. It's a pretty good trick room team.
It's a very good trick room team. I mean, it's just Ursaluna Melmetal trick room.
Yeah.
That's also packing Mega Mile. So like, if you're unable to play around trick room or it gets up and you're just not ready for it, you'll just lose.
Yep.
It's just that simple. Ursaluna
Is
has
that-
perfect coverage to kill every mon in the game.
Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
good mon.
Is there there's no flying ghost type, right?
Uh,
Oh, Rotom. Rotom is the only person.
No, there's Drift Bloom.
Oh yeah, I guess
Wait,
so.
Rotom is There's no Rotom Ghost flying form.
No, he meant pure Rotom with levitate.
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, okay. Well, is Dusk? No, Miss Magius, I guess too.
Yes, Miss Magius would do it.
Earthworm, Earth Eater, and resist normal. I mean, it gets
Oh,
Fire
yeah.
Punch to the mouth, but
And dies.
it takes
I mean,
half.
actually, no, it
Being
might not
technical.
die. Yeah.
It takes half,
If we're being
so I mean,
technical, then he gets every like punch move, right? So he's got Bolt Beam, Coverage, Punch, along with Usad and EQ.
yeah.
Bolt B. Oh my god, you could literally just run 4 attacks, couldn't you? Jesus Christ.
It gets SD too, right?
Assault Vest wouldn't be, yeah. Sword Stance, I think it gets that.
Yeah.
But honestly, with 140 attack, you're not going to need it.
Yeah, you might not
If
need
you
it, but
really
I mean,
want to kill a whole team, you can run SD.
SD Facade is gonna kill a whole tier.
I'd say it's a pretty good team. Maybe like an 8 or 9. I mean, you've
I was
got
thinking 8, yeah.
I'm giving, yeah,
you've
I'd
got
say
enough
an 8
quick
for sure.
maneuvers to set it up whenever. Especially with Mimikyu, if you use just Trick Room and then they pop your disguise, then you're fine and you can.
You
I
run
don't
the
know, whatever
demon
Mimikyu
or
does.
you run the demon set, fucking red card, trick
Yeah,
room.
red card
Oh
trick
my
room.
god.
Yep. That's the
Or
one.
eject button.
Well, eject button, you'd go out, you'd get switched out before you
With
use
disguise
trick
too?
room.
Yeah, no, it still counts the disguise.
Oh,
Your
okay.
disguise would break and then you'd get ejected. So you'd just lose a whole turn.
Yeah. Next up, Starcon, the coach of the Montreal Charmeleon, bringing us a bulky offense, semi-stall, just monster of a team. It has
Alright,
the best
so,
Pokemon in the world, Gliscor, right there. So I mean,
Alright, so I'll take the lead on this one as I had drafted something very similar.
Criticize
So-
your own playstyle.
The idea is you bring Mega Latias and you bring Hoopa-U. The only thing that really walls both of those mons are steals. So then you have Heatran, you have Magnezone to kill steals, you have Blissey as just an amazing pivot, you have Meowscarada, a very fast pivot that also spikes, Gliscor, another very strong pivot. You literally just bring Mega Latias, Hoopa-U, Heatran, Meow every game, and then you pick 2 of the other mons that are pivots. And
Gliscor,
basically, the other team dies.
you're not
I
gonna give
think-
Gliscor any credit as to killing steals.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I think Skuntank could have been better as a defensive one. Like physically defensive. With
Yeah.
a pivot
Just kind of
move,
lacking that.
kind
yeah.
of complement Blissey. Because I know it's got teleport and all that, and 255 HP, but you kind of need something physical there. I guess you got Gliscor.
Yeah, Gliscor is gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. Mega Latios is just such an insane calm mind user. Most games end on the spot if it gets up a boost or 2.
Yep.
I mean, Skuntank, like, as a low-tier defogger and Hitmontop as a low-tier rapid spinner is, like, you know, they're combining the two as, like, you know, they're just trying to get value out of that low-tier spots. I mean,
Right.
could they probably have gotten better value? Probably. I mean, the team, besides the 2 steals, gets absolutely blown up by fairies. I mean, they do have 2 really solid fairy type. I mean, 2 very solid fairy type switch-ins in Mag and Heatran. But
And Blissey,
Yeah.
not to mention.
Blissey exists too. That's I mean, like, how does this team handle Valiant?
I was about to say,
Doesn't.
something that will fuck up this team 6-0 is a Valiant with 4 attacks.
Yeah,
I
easily.
think Skuntank kind of like should be a poison check. I mean, a poison not. It should be a fairy check, but it's not, cause it's like it's good when you load it up on Showdown, cause it's got defog, it's got 103 HP.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else is probably knockoff if I'm right.
It gets
But, like-
knockoff, it gets it doesn't get knockoff, but it does get
But,
pursuit.
like,
I know that.
This thing's defenses aren't nearly good enough to take a hit. Like, it's basically just a defogger, and I think those points could have been spent somewhere else. Because you've
Bro,
already
the
got
sauce
Blastoise
was
on top.
Grafaiai. If he had Grafaiai in that slot, I think he would have gotten a really good use out of his points.
That's a fair point, yeah.
Skuntank's
Um,
an MV mon. I mean, he makes that thing work. But yeah, that's like a mon that, like, only he would use type thing, like using Swalot. Like, that's just like it's not a real mon, but you know, leave it to MV. I really like Hitmontop though. I mean it it's another special defensive mon, which is kind of funny on this team because it's very
Yeah.
specially defensive. But I mean, I really like Hitmontop as a way to just. I don't think it gets Drain Punch as a way to heal, so I mean it lacks recovery, if I'm correct in saying that. But I mean, Intimidate does help its physical
It
defense.
gets Strain Punch. I know it gets Seismic. Let me check. Continue.
I say I don't think it has Drain Punch, but if it does, that would be really good
Hitmontop-
for its recover.
Hitmontop is either pivot with U-turn intimidate, or you go technician and then you go fake out bullet punch.
Oh, it doesn't have U-turn.
It would be best. Oh, it doesn't have U-turn?
No.
It gets Pursuit, it gets Rapid Spin, it gets Sucker, Toxic, Seismic Toss, Mock Punch, Facade, or Fake Out.
I
It's,
think
it's
for the
just like
most
a
part-
utility mon.
Yeah, I just like the Intimidate as well as Rapid Spin, as well as being able to just punch steals. I mean, it's
If
just.
you had like Bisharp or something over here, minus the fact that Latias and whatever it is, Hoopa probably have fighting type attacks. Pursuit goes no, never mind. I was gonna say Pursuit goes kinda well into this team, but I'm lying.
On
It
my
does not.
build of the team, there is a King Gambit / Bishop.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
all around, this is a really strong team, and he's gonna win a lot of games off going Mega Latias or Hoopa and doubling the mag and just trapping the steal.
hopefully the opponent playing them will use Shed Shell on their steal. I mean, but I mean, who am I to say that? But I mean, preferably if you play Magnezone, you're running Shed Shell on your steal, which is why Magnezone is fallen so far down to like 8 points because it's just such an obvious prep.
I think the optimal play here is gonna be Draco Meteor Megaladius into Baton Pass, so you can give the half special attack to your Heatran.
I'm about to say,
This
can
team
you do
definitely
that?
needs
But
strength.
that's kind of brazy to run Baton past Mega Latias.
Why are we giving
Or
our
even like,
Heatran minus special attack?
Trust me, bro, you wouldn't get it.
It doesn't deserve positive attack stats.
Ah.
Trust.
But yeah, I mean, overall, do you give this team? I mean, like, it's one of these teams where, like, in comparison to the other ones, I don't feel like it's any, like, better. I mean, it's. But, like, I
think
can't
it's
really
pretty
say that
solid.
it's. I can't really say that it's on. Like, I shouldn't give it a 6, but I wouldn't give it, like, a 7. Like, it's hard to say. Like, I feel like we had some, like, really. But then again, like, Megalotti Hoopa is just such a good. Just.
Yeah. I'd say it's better than Rachel's team, so I'm not
It definitely has to
less
get
than a
at least an
7.
8 for me personally.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's
8 is definitely fair on where it is.
Alright, this is Houston Gastros. Honestly, I kind of looked at the board and I saw Chiyu and I thought that'd be funny. And then I realized I needed an actual strategy. So I grabbed Goldengo, and from there it just became a Hazard Stack team. So I've got Spidops, Clodsire, and I guess Runerigus to set up rocks, spikes, whatever else, sticky webs. And then Air Balloon Goldengo or Scarf Goldengo, whatever fits the situation, just to kind of clean up. My only removal is Starmie and Altaria, which I think works. Originally, it was Mega Pinsir over Altaria, but I was running Triple Bug, and that didn't really work out for me, so I switched it up. Buzzwole used to be in Slitherwing's place, but due to the amount of utility Slitherwing gets over Buzzwole, I kind of had to go with Slitherwing. I mean, you got first impression, U-turn recovery, all that good stuff. Gyarados was a really easy 12-pointer to pick, because it just abuses every single Z crystal it can hold. Especially Fly, that one's nice. My team isn't really the fastest, which is what Zero's for. There's a few setup sweepers, and then a few mons who probably need Scarf or something to do big damage.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
mean, I really like Golden Go as a defog blocker and rapid spinner on a hazard stack team, as well as you have the rune for a ghost type as well for spin blocking. maybe it would have been cool to get like a Defiant Mon as well to like really overkill the fact that hey, you're not
Yeah.
getting rid of these hazards.
I was thinking about it. I was running a bit short from Bisharp, and
Um,
I wanted to pursue Defiant user.
I say if you have an extra point to spare, you could even grab like Morgrim for screens.
I could.
Because screens could be really good. Like I mean, Gyarados clicking DD and getting behind screens
Yeah.
is pretty good.
And Mega Alt, as a fellow Mega Alt enjoyer, is
Mhm.
and just a really strong, really strong DD user.
I really love every single 8 ability. I was running Mega Pinsir specifically for Aerial 8 Return, but
Yeah.
this one gets Tiger Voice, which pairs pretty well. Plus, if you go like either DD and Cotton Guard, and then max special defense, you're basically unkillable. And if you get Roost too, then it's basically a matter of what can block fairy types. And as we've seen earlier, fairy types, a lot of these teams are weak to fairy types.
Yeah.
So hopefully Mega Altari can put in some work.
Your team is also just very. Its longevity is insane. Goldango, Mega Alt, Starmie, Clodsire, and Slitherwing all have recovery.
Yeah.
Yep. I was playing Bleedle the other day, and games went to turn 63 because Clodsire would just spam recover. Goldango didn't get a chance to recover.
Well, it's funny
And then
when
she was vexed.
when you played those games against Bleedle with this team, I was surprised he didn't run just Banded Meow, because I mean, like you really
Yeah.
want to switch into Banded Meow.
Yeah. No. I mean,
You
I
don't really
guess
have a good
Zero
ghost
could've
switch in.
run
Your only real switch into ghosts is exactly Chiyu.
Yup. That's my issue. I'm hoping Rodriguez can just live a hit. I was kind of working on that, and then I never got around to it.
Okay.
I'm looking for like a 5-pointer mon, if I'm being honest, to just kind of take whatever his name is, Rodriguez's spot. But I was looking forward to using Wandering Spirit, so that's why I grabbed him.
I see.
Yeah, ghost switching is kind of an issue.
Wandering Spirit
Probably gonna lose
is. It's not
What did you say?
Wandering Spirit.
Yeah,
That-
it's you switch abilities if they make contact.
Versus just giving them money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yep. Sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't, because then they can just attack you twice and get it back.
I
So-
think that this team is gonna get carried really hard by Gyarados Z move and Chiyu being just.
Yes, that's the idea.
It's funny if I were to look at this team, like if you sent me this team, I would look at it and be like, what is going on? Like honestly, like I would just look at it and be like, wow, these mons don't really like honestly, I would just be like, what the hell's going on here? But like
Fair
when
assumption.
you explain it as just hazard stack setup as well as just longevity sweepers, I mean like it gets to like the point where it's like, wow, this is actually annoying to just get rid of, because like
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't like Starmie as a Pokemon. I think it's fallen off so hard since Gen 4 5. I mean,
You're just a hater.
yeah, I
Z
mean,
teleport is where it's at.
Z teleport.
I love Z teleport so much.
What does he
Teleport's
teleport do?
great. Huh?
What does it do?
It restores all your health before you
Ooh.
switch out.
It's kind of
So
gross.
it's like Regenerator, but better. And only once. But that's besides the point. But yeah, also, I played one gimmick set against Bleedle with Trick Room on Starmie. And it didn't go well, except for he dropped a Draco on Starmie and it died after its second Trick Room. But Bulky Chiyu ended up winning that game because I was minimum speed but maximum HP.
Yes, the fish. Fish is good.
Fish real good.
Fish.
I think this team is gonna be really good because if you are just hazard stacking, and then just resting every turn, one thing I would have noted, or that I am going to note, is that this team gets stuffed really hard by Boogs. Like,
Oh yeah,
really
I know.
hard. And you only have one knockoff user in Zera.
No. Yeah, but Zera's forcing switches anyways.
Ooh.
So
Could you
the idea
imagine?
behind that
Could
is-
you imagine you playing the last team that really bulky offense and they just run 6 boot spawns?
I'd kill myself. Like I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Like, whoa, that's
Yeah,
a
like
tough one.
yeah, like against the Startron team, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that team literally can run 6 Bootsmons, and you just wouldn't be able to kill them.
If I'm being honest, Hazard Stack, it is a main point, but it's not the only thing I can run. So I have some play around that. This is kind of like a bulky offense team. That's or a stall team trying to be bulky offense, just from how long every one of these mons lives.
Yeah.
This really is just a stall team in disguise.
That's a good way to describe it.
You guys just won't realize it until game 3 when I pull out recover on every single mon. I'm excited for spoiling the first impression. Can't wait.
You can Slither Wing Z move in
Huh?
our format?
I
No?
don't think
Okay,
so.
good.
It's really high up there. Should be, at least.
Witherwing is 13. My only Z move users are Claude Sarah, Gyarados, Runerigus, Starmie, and then Spite Ops if you want to be technical.
We
Yeah,
have
bro,
we
Z
have to
Sticky Web
see
Spine Ops.
we have to see Z Spite Ops.
Z Silk Trap? I don't even know if that does anything. Hold on, let me check.
Probably not, because it didn't exist in Gen 7. Maybe Smogon made something up.
Yeah, Z effect none. Sticky Web? Z Sticky Web ups my speed by 1.
Hell yeah, then you sweep them with your stakeout first impression.
Oh my god, you had no idea. I need the rush of hitting a first impression on that stupid Meowscarada. I hate it so much. He kept on saying how he was gonna run Protect just so he could, like, screw with me. And then I said I'd get a hack and put Unseen Fist on my Spite Ops. Then he said he'd go Neutralizing Gas, and I lost the argument.
The end-all
But
be-all
yeah,
of pure Hackmons.
I hope so. Just the
Um,
finals game is your hack months.
yeah, I mean, what would you guys give this team as far as rating? I mean, like, I feel like we're saying a lot of 7s, a lot of 8s.
Oh yeah, I was
think
leaning
that's
towards
fair.
an 8.
So visually, I give it a 7. In practice, I would give it an 8. I think
I'm
that's a
not
good way to
particularly
describe it.
attached to the team yet, so maybe it'll be better, maybe it'll be worse.
Alright, yeah, I like this team. This
Yeah.
is Gyarados is gonna do a lot of work, I think.
Next up, we have Alpha, the coach of the San Diego Dragonites. Really cool first 3 mons being Gen 9, Valiant backs King Gambit, the Gen 9 Dragon Fairy Steel Core. Yeah, that in itself is really, really good. And then drafted a second Dragon Fairy Steel Core in Togekiss, Latias, and Cobalion. And yet still walks away weak to Fairy. We're seeing a trend with a lot of the teams in these drafts that, despite having 2 Fairy Dragon Steel Cores and a Fire and a Poison, and it's still weak to Fairy.
Yep.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I think that's just because how King Gambit's built.
Hey,
Like,
at least
he's
we
both
can't
the
say this
bro.
team loses to Valiant because he has the Valiant.
Yes,
he is the Valiant, yeah.
he is the Valiant. If you can't beat him, join him. Might as well just. I was tempted to grab Toadscruel on my team just so I couldn't get my Ceiling Might Spored on my Goldenko, but I felt like that was a little bit too petty, so I left him be. I think this guy's good for hazard removal so far. Doesn't look like he's going to be setting up a lot of them. Cobalion gets Volt Switch.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes,
Really good.
that's what
I'm
makes
not
it a
too
really good
skilled with
pivot mon.
Words of Justice.
It's also funny how this team works against Earthquake. It's like, it has nothing resisting Earthquake, but it has a Levitator, a Mon that is flying before it Megas, a second Levitator, and a second Flying type. So like, 4 things, and then 3 things when Gyarados Mega Evolves.
I still think Mold Breaker Excadrill would wipe this team.
Yeah, barring any ability shields, yes. Mold Breaker Excadrill
Aw,
is insane.
quality club.
Bro keeps going.
You're just
Excadrill wipes this guy
anti-fun.
and then goes, ability shield? Oh shit.
That's such a stupid item that came out. I mean, like, imagine an item. I mean, I say it's stupid, but Shed Shell has already existed in the past to
Yeah.
get rid of items, get rid of abilities, so whatever. I guess it's cool counterplay.
It's literally just like built especially for that. Just like Covert Cloak with
Guard.
Salt Cure. And like I guess Seed Flare if you want to be technical, but nobody's really using that one
But
because it's
like
banned.
Covert Cloak just being shield dust, like it's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, as well as Focus Sash is, I guess, still sturdy. So, anyways, for the team, like, it's weird how it's literally just like 3 main cores. It's Fairy Dragon Steel, Fire Water Grass, Muck.
That's interesting. Market.
But like the
It's kind of
problem is that like the individual mons that they chose to slot into this team are just top of their class at what they do.
That
Like
is
you
true.
got Spore, Regen, Amoonguss, Rotom Heat, one of the best pivots ever. Um,
I'm very confused how they had. Yeah, you were saying 2 Fairy Steel Dragon Cores earlier, except both of their Steel types are weak to Fairy. Their Dragon
Yeah.
types
And
are
fighting.
weak to Fairy, obviously, and then Valiant's weak to Fairy.
Yeah.
and
So, like,
fighting.
Yeah, and fighting. I don't even know like what to make of this.
Yeah.
2 poison types too, so like why even draft Muck?
Yeah, Muck just feels out of place. It's like, oh, I wanted a grounded poison, but you had a ground.
I'm gonna remove Muck from the sheet and see if it makes
I
it.
think
Doesn't even
maybe
make it better.
I
It's
think
still
what they
bad
were
at
maybe
this.
thinking was trying to patch the fighting weakness and add another fairy switch in.
Mhm. That's fair.
Muck's not real, let's be honest. You're
Muck's a terrible Pokemon.
But like, if you're gonna try and patch your fighting weakness, just don't Terra Gyarados, and
Yeah.
go like, I don't know what sets it usually runs, but like it probably has something for fighting types. I know it's got
I
Aqua.
would say Z Fly, but
yeah.
Z-Fly, nah, not on
You're
this
holding
one.
you're holding a Mega Stone. I don't think and it doesn't get Psychic Fangs, so nothing like that. I genuinely don't think it gets anything for
yeah, but I don't think it gets bounce if you want to be and if you want to be a very smart guy and run bounce.
yes, wait
I
2
was tempted
turns.
to do that, but like, what if they just run Protect? Nobody
Ex-
expects bounce though.
Yeah, but then you get to basically tell your opponent where they're gonna end up the next turn.
Give them a chance to switch into their flying resist.
Give them a chance to go Zapdos, you know?
Yeah. Really, like, I don't even know. It's interesting, this set. I didn't know Gyarados was especially defensively bulky. But
Yeah,
other than that,
even
you
normal
only...
Gyarados is base 130.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Huh. That's weird.
Mega Gyarados was really,
Oh, it's 100. yeah.
really out of place on this team. Like, that
Yeah.
shouldn't be Mega Gyarados.
I mean,
I
I don't
get that
hate
it's, like,
it, but I see what you're saying.
could technically go screens with Rotom and then Volt switch into it, but like I don't see many screens on anything that isn't Prankster.
I'm trying to look at the hazard control situation. I mean, he has 3 really good defoggers, so I guess that's not terrible. And 2, like...
He's not a hazard fan, I don't think.
But there's only 2 rockers,
And they're both
I
the
can't
steals.
imagine you're bringing Cobalion to every game.
You're not.
Yeah.
It's not that good. And King Gambit does not want to use Stealth Rock.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Bisharp
you'd much
doesn't either.
rather
Like
exactly.
I think
You'd much
you
rather
can
you run Pursuit.
Pursuit, Sword Stance, Slow Kick, Iron Head, or Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no way you don't bring Sucker Punch. I mean, like, Fallen 5 Sucker Punch is, like, the best priority
Yeah.
in the world.
Like, you'd think he'd bring King Gambit or something if he was trying to hazard stack and then make you like with Define into a defogger, but he just doesn't have hazards. Like
Right.
Muck, you're not bringing Muck to a game ever. Like there's no reason to use it over Amoonguss.
And nobody's realistically defogging T-Spikes. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're just going to send in...
Maybe the thought process behind the Muck pickup is that it gives you a Z move user, but at that point, you're just running Z Togekiss or Z Cobalion.
Yeah. I think Zeocobalion actually isn't too bad here. I gotta check its stats again.
That's its
but,
best set. Yeah, I mean,
The best
Cobalion is the
Cobalion
best
set,
set.
in my opinion, is like Taunt, Rocks, Volt Switch, close combat, or like a fighting stab.
That's
You know,
I
fair.
for
love
like
that set.
for a thing called the Swords of Justice, they just seem like glorified rock setters.
Reshiram doesn't even get rocks.
Yeah, my favorite rocks, Keldeo.
Yeah, Keldeo the rock setter. Like I don't even know why is Cobalion built like this. It gets like volt switch. It gets so weird.
because they only gave U-turn to Verizian and Terrakion for fear of making Cobalion too good, I guess.
I think honestly, like this thing is basically just 3 actual threats in Mega Gyarados, Bax, and Valiant, and then a bunch of defensive mons. And
I literally have to give this team a 6. Like
yeah,
the
I mean
only
they've got
saving grace of
Valiant.
this team is Valiant backs, but they don't even have a good supporting cast because there's not much
Yeah.
to get them in.
Yeah, it's
You
like
have to
Yeah.
run min speed Rotom in order to get them in without being touched.
yeah, it's. I mean, it's like they brought like they just picked typing cores instead of like mon cores, and I mean, I guess it's fine. But the typing cores don't really work either, though. I mean, you got
No.
you got a steel and a dragon both weak to fighting, and then you got a steel. Like, it's tough. It's really tough, and I mean like, fighting's really good against this team. Fairies are good against this team.
Dark's good against this team.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's not. I'm tripping on that one, but no
Yeah.
ghost switching. And like you could say Gambit, but then like if they play the Sucker Punch game, they sub on the Sucker Punch and then click Focus Blast, you just die.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like the game just ends at that point.
Rotom Heat. I mean, he's pretty good, but unless you're running screens, Volt Switch, which you're probably not, you're just gonna be doing like Will-O-Wisp, which is situational in like setup sweeping. Could still work, but it's not like optimal. I don't think.
Right.
All right,
But yeah,
is that the?
I think 6 is fair for this one.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our final team here is the Globo Gym Purple Crowbots.
Logo Gym E-Terrain.
To deliver us E-Terrain with Coco plus Bundle and Moth, as well as Unburden Holucha and Jolteon, all abusing electric terrain. And then on top of that, we have Bird Spam with Lando, Holucha, Aerodactyl, and Jumpluff. And there's what, 3 mons on this team that aren't base 100? I mean, if you just speed is this team's middle name, and there's no hiding it.
Yep. I know
This
with
team
the
is
amount of
so
pure speed he
broken.
has.
This is like top 3 teams of the division, like, by far.
Yeah, Bundle, Moth, just threats. I don't even know how I'd switch into this.
It's just funny that there are 3, like, Alomomola, Gudra, and Jumpluff just don't seem to me like they do much for the team.
I think they're just pivots. I think that's why they're there. They're just there to be pivots.
What? So
Like,
Baton
look at
Pass
the
would-
U-turns selection, man.
Which
Like, you got
sport
Flip Turn
from-
Alo, you have Jumpluff U-turning, and I don't know why Gudra's there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Alomomola
I
gets
have no
Baton.
idea why Gudra's
does
there.
does Alomomola get Flip Turn? I thought it was. Oh, it does get Flip Turn. I think
It does get Flip Turn.
I think it's just. I thought it was just Baton Pass, but yeah.
No, it doesn't get flip turn. It
No?
gets
Okay.
a baton pass.
So yeah, Baton
I
Pass,
swore that thing got.
Aloe,
Okay,
Flip
whatever.
Turn, Bundle. Yeah, I mean, so much momentum. But yeah, Gudra just feels odd.
I guess Gudra's to make sure you don't get swept back by an electric type. That's what I imagine Gudra's there for.
Maybe.
I don't know why you'd add. No, never mind. You got 4 birds anyways. I think Gudra was just kind of like a hobby pick, like something they added for fun. But at this point, with this many threats, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, 5-ish E-Terrain sweepers. Mega Aerodactyl insane on its own because of base 150 speed. This thing, like, not even hazards can kill this thing. This is just stall breaker the team because everything outspeeds and Okos.
And not to
Yep.
mention, the worst part of all about facing this team is that Coco can provide screens.
Oh my god, that's evil.
So it's Suicide Lando into Screens Coco into 4 Mons that will just sweep you.
The only way I could realistically say you beat this team is Iron Bundle misses a Hydro Pump.
Yeah.
But
Because
even if that's the case, then they just go Moth and just clean up from there.
I say Vortex Moth with booster energy and speed. It has insane coverage and hits so hard. I mean, it's
It's probably
easily
need to
my
bring,
favorite
like,
mon in Gen 9 right now. I mean, it has so much coverage.
you need to go like probably Misty terrain or Psychic terrain on this one.
Yeah,
You'll
you
still
have to
get
have an
rising
anti-terrain.
voltage. But like, I don't even know.
You
If
know
you use
what?
grassy terrain, you're just blocking EQ damage, which is good into his team.
It's not really that good. I mean, it hits Moth, it hits Coco, it hits Jolteon, but then I mean, it hits Goodra. But I
You're
mean,
hitting all the E-terrain sweepers.
true. But you got 4 birds on the team. Keep in
Yeah.
mind.
Oh, birds. Yeah, this team does not look fun to fight.
Nah, bro. Keep this shit on your side of the division.
Remember when you
Oh
guys
my
said
god, bro.
why does that team have Arbolivia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it because of people like this?
That is exactly for this.
Alright. I was so close to drafting Alolan Raichu, but I've been told on multiple occasions not to. I just stopped because it messed up my type chart running triple electric, triple bug.
It's really funny how Alolan Raichu does kind of Surfer and then also hits Bundle, Moth,
Rising voltage.
and
Yeah.
Aerodactyl, Holucha, all for super effective damage. So it's really good back into him.
Plus you go HP ice on Lando and you're
Like I said, I think that's why Goodra's here. I think it's that reason exactly. Just run AV Goodra and it's never getting broken.
oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you can't reverse sweep it with anything because
Plus intimidate Lando means you're not really getting much physical attacks damage off.
yeah, Fizdef, Alomomola, and Spadef Gudra, and that's your defensive core.
Yep, and then you've got Lando who can literally do anything. It can be Scarf, it can be Suicide, it can be defensive.
Yeah, I mean, this is the team of all time.
Yep.
This is one of the teams of all time.
No, no, this
the
is the
amount of-
team of all time.
This is the team of all time.
I don't know how we let him do this. He drafted Coco and nobody drafted Bundle or Moth. Shit crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss Hydros. I hate it.
Bro, I just run wide lens bundle, because at that point you don't even need another item.
That's fair.
The only saving grace running stealth rocks and then getting Tapu Koko to defog off his own E-terrain. That's literally it. Like there's
Bro,
no
he's not
other
gonna
way.
stop to defog. He's just gonna keep fucking hitting you.
You know, maybe if he was just a little bit considerate, then he'd think about it.
You can't even
Jeez,
Earthquake
bro,
him. He
I
has
can't beat this team
four.
already.
He
He's
has
4
4
birds.
Earthquake immunities.
He's got 4 birds, dude.
Okay, just Ice Spinner then. I don't know. I'm
How
scared
do
to
you
fight
kill
that
this
team.
team? Yo, you know what kills this team? Literally 6-0s on Team Preview. Hero.
Oh my god. I hate that you're right. No, you
Scarf
are
Kyurem
right, though.
6-0s on Team Preview, dude.
Does Scarf Kyurem even outspeed Mega Arrow?
No, Holucha,
No.
Holucha can kill it.
That's the joke. So, like, as much as I'm right, you also just die to half his team.
Yeah. Like, if you just look at Bundle Moth and Lando, and then, like, Aerodactyl. No, and never mind, Aerodactyl has whatever it... Rock type.
It's
You
Stone
kill
Edge.
Alola, and you get Earth Power for Gudra. You kill everything that isn't important. Which is most of the setup sweepers, and then minus Holucha.
Yeah, I mean, Earth Power into Gudra is gonna do like 10.
Yeah, I'm scared of this team.
Yeah, this is a 10 for me.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good assumption. There's nothing else that even comes close. Like a cat's like a 9. Classic Warrior team's pretty good.
Oh, okay. So now we're gonna figure out rankings.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so after some discussion, these are the final rankings that we have decided. Feel free to leave any comments down below, things that you might think about these teams, maybe things you don't agree with us, and yeah, thanks for watching for the Reshiram Division Power Rankings. We will be back for the Zekrom PRs probably in the next couple of days. So yeah, if you enjoyed watching, hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.